this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me again today. Today we're taking a break from Christmas projects and we're trying this little card here, which is made using the Inspiring Iris stamp set. This is a really easy set to miss in the annual catalogue. I didn't notice it at first until I saw lots of people using it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got these outline images and then the infill ones, and the infill ones give a sort of watercolour look with just one stamp. So this is just stamped in Highland Heather and I can't remember what green that was, it might be an old olive. Just one stamp each. Makes it look so beautiful, so easy to do, and there's lots of other flowers in there for me to try. Carnations and like a rose, lovely border, really lovely set this, so I'm really looking forward to playing a bit more with it. But I'm going to show you how I made this card here. So I did this in Highland Heather. These are irises, which are generally bluey purple really with yellow middles. So I did mine in Highland Heather, but actually I was one of the lucky ones that actually got a pad of purple posy before they withdrew them all and decided they weren't good enough quality. So I'm actually going to make mine in purple posy today. So to start with, you need a card blank, my normal card blank, 21 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, scored at 10.5, or 8.25 inches scored at 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. That's more or less half a sheet of A4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the DSP from our DSP stacks, which are on, I can tell you what page of the catalogue they're on actually. Let me see if I can find them quickly. There we go, it's on next page. Next page. Page 168, they're up here, and there's the in colour ones and then all the colour families, neutrals, brights, subtles and regals, and this is from the in colour, this year's in colours, so 2019-2021. Absolutely lovely. So this is purple posy, it's got gingham on the other side, but I'm going to use this side with this crisscross pattern. I've put some Tombow on a plate saucer already, so I'm just going to use, I just want to use this up. I've been doing some other crafting and had some glue out, so I thought I might as well use this glue up rather than waste it. And it does mean that you can spread the glue very thinly, get it right to the edges, but not all squirting out when you stick it down, which I quite like there. And this is going to butt up against the fold of your card blank, so make sure that butts up really nicely. Don't want it to overlap really, but we don't want any white showing, and then it will be slightly too long for your card, so you need to trim off. Let's find my scissors. So just trim off the odd edges and you'll get it so that it looks like it was made to fit there. Absolutely perfect. Now we need to do the oval, we need to do the stamping. So got a piece of Whisper White card here, and I'm going to show you what I did. So I am going to take the outline stamp of the irises, keep wanting to call them lilies and they're not, they're irises. So, and the Memento Black, and we're going to stamp in Memento Black. I'll do it here. There we go. And it gives a really lovely fine image, that outline. I love that outline. It's not too black and clunky. And then we are going to take the infill stamp. This is the infill stamp for the irises. It goes that way up and it fits on here, which is pretty easy to do before you ink it up. Becomes a bit more tricky when you ink it up, I've found, because it's very difficult to see through. But anyway, I'm going to give it a try. It's easier with light coloured ink than it is with dark coloured inks, so with the purple posy it shouldn't be too bad. There was a fault with some of the purple posy pads, I have to say, and it does foam a bit, if you can see when I'm stamping, but it doesn't seem to affect the stamping. It will now. See, I can see bubbles on it now. I've not had that problem at all today. I've been stamping with this all day. Anyway, let's give it a go we know what's wrong with it if it doesn't stamp. So you need to get your head right over this to try and line it up. It's not too bad with the purple posy. And then it doesn't matter if it goes out a little bit because it's that kind of stamp. There we are. So we've filled in the irises, and then I need to close this. I'm going to come in with Pear Pizzazz for the leaves. I wanted a nice neutrally subtle green. You could use any green you like, and again we're going to try and line this up as best we can. Just make sure that's inked up properly. So we're going to try, and again it's not going to fit exactly. This is not an exact replication. So stamp there, and you can see that some of the leaves look like they're not, but most of it is lined up. And then just to finish that off, in the centre of those irises, we're going to put a little bit of Mango Melody. So just this little round stamp for the set. So I've used this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, and I'm using that little centre stamp as well. And I'm just going to do that in Mango Melody in the middle of each of my irises as the yellow centre. And that's all the stamping that we needed to do with that. Now I've actually oh, I can't get this off. Oh, I'll sort that. Oh, there we go. It's going. It can be a bit tricky to close these stamp pads sometimes. I've already cut this. Well, I've done one and I've cut it out of a oval with one of our stitched shapes. So I don't like die cutting on camera. This is done exactly the same way, and then die cut with one of our stitched shapes, which is this one. I think that's the biggest stitched shape that we've got. Let me just give you the measurement. It is 8.3-ish centimetres and about 3 1/4. So that's the one that you need. And then I've also cut a panel of a scalloped oval of purple posy. So there was my card blank. So we need to mount this on here. This is a really simple little card. If you wanted to make sets of these, you could do these ever so quickly. Little bit of stamping, little bit of die cutting, but very, very quick and easy, and very elegant. I think this is a really nice card. Just thinking I might save this for my mum's birthday actually. There we go, and that's going on there. So it's going to be partly covering the panel of paper that we put on. So again, I'm going to use my cocktail stick. So you can use your Tombow, you can use whatever glue you like. I like using liquid glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle room, but I also like using it with a cocktail stick. So I love being able to get a really thin layer without glue going everywhere, and that can go there. Excuse me. And then lastly, I'm just going to use one of the greetings from the Magnolia Bloom set, which is in our beginners catalogue. Just going to use this lovely happy birthday down there. So I'm going to come in with the purple posy stamp ink again. So lovely when you use Stampin' Up stuff that you know everything is going to coordinate really well. And there we go. There we are. That's our card done. I quite like that paler one. I'm loving Purple Posy at the minute. I've been using it a lot just recently. Loving it. I do think there might be, if you see how that hasn't stamped very evenly, I do think there might be a fault with mine. I hold on to it rather than sending it back, but when they produce a new one I might actually ask for a new one. There we go. So we've got one in the darker Highland Heather and one in the Purple Posy. Hope you've liked that project today. And if you want to buy anything that I've used, a stamp set or anything else that I've used today, just pop down to my shop, which will be linked underneath. The blog posts that I talk about and all the measurements will be under there as well. And that's it from me today. I hope you have a lovely day. Hope you can find time to do some crafting yourselves, and I'll be back soon, probably with more Christmas projects, but we'll see. Thanks very much for joining me today. Bye.